Good morning, everyone. My name is Louise from Clarity Crafts here in the UK. Welcome to Groovi Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to do my usual ramble until everybody finds us in the room. So it's a cloudy, overcast day where we are in Edenbridge in Kent. So I wonder what it's like where you are. Is it cloudy? Is it raining? It does look overcast. Looks like it's going to rain. Apparently in Cornwall last night, they had these really beautiful northern lights. I saw some pictures that one of my family members, they sent over on a WhatsApp group, and it's so beautiful. It's like green and red in the sky. I didn't get anything in Kent. I don't know if anybody else saw anything, if they live down in Cornwall, whether they saw the northern lights. But yeah, it's really beautiful pictures. So we have Jane in the room today. So if you have any questions, she's there to help. Just seeing everybody starting to find us, which is great. Sound is all good. Thank you, Jane. So yeah, so Jane's going to be in the room. So have any questions and she'll feed anything that I need to know through the magical phone. So I hope everybody's doing well and had a lovely weekend. It feels... I know Tuesday, we've already had Monday and we had the shack yesterday, but obviously I don't speak to anybody until today. So that's why I like to know, has everybody had a lovely weekend and what they've been up to? So Lisa, she lives in Cornwall and she said it was incredible. It was really, really lovely. I don't know if I've got a photo somewhere. Let me have a look. Really pretty. It's kind of, let me just show you on the overhead. I mean, look at those colours, aren't they lovely? I don't know if you can, so beautiful. I've never seen the Northern Lights in person. It's always been a dream of mine to see the Northern Lights. I should have gone to Cornwall, shouldn't I? Don't need to go up north, just go to Cornwall. My dad and my stepmom, they're in Thailand at the moment. So, yeah, so they're texting me occasionally, showing me lots of pictures of where they've been. I did say I could stow away in the suitcase or something on the plane, but I think I would have got found out. So yeah, it is a bit of a miserable overcast day. Hopefully it'll be a bit sunny later. But yeah, apart from that, I hope everybody's had a lovely weekend. Did a little bit of crafting. Did you do a little bit of crafting, a little bit of reading? I'm trying to get back into my reading a bit more. I find it kind of helps calm me a little bit, going into another world for a little while. I'm more into fantasy and romancy kind of books. Like, I love the magical vibes and going into different worlds and everything. So I do like the occasional thriller. And some contemporary romances and things like that. But usually I'm a fantasy girl. So I've got myself, I think in January, I think everybody struggles a little bit in January because it feels like it's such a long month. We've had the hustle and bustle of Christmas and time seems to fly because you're getting everything ready, your mind's on other things. And then January comes and everything's stopped. And it's almost like, what do I do? So I've set myself up a little challenge. It happened in Scotland as well. Always wanted to. I've been to Edinburgh for like a day trip, but I've never actually been to Scotland and had a look. I'd love to go to Inverness, and I'd really love to go round and look at all of the places where Outlander was filmed. I absolutely love Outlander. It's one of my favourite series. I could watch that again and again. Always the first season's always the best though, because they're in Scotland and it's more romantic and there's loads of things going on. But yeah, so it's I don't know what I was saying just then. I got sidetracked. Oh yeah, I set myself up a little challenge. So sometimes before bed I like to, I suppose what you call it is doom scrolling. So you scroll the phone and looking on social media. I like looking at YouTube videos, and I thought instead of doing that, I thought I would spend my time actually reading for an hour or two, just to kind of like decompress from the day and So I've set myself up a challenge. I'm going to try and read 52 books in a year, so one book a week, and I think that's manageable for me. Especially like, I mean, I have some books that are over 1,000 pages, so that's probably take me a couple of weeks. But then I have some smaller books that are, only 200 pages. So I think it's doable. 52 books in 1 year, and a little mix. So I also set myself another challenge of I call it book bingo. So there is. I looked online, and they had lots of little boxes, and for example, pick a book that has a pink cover or something and read it. And so there's 5 by 5 boxes, so there's 25 boxes in total. And if you complete one line, so 5 things in a row, I can get myself another book. And if you do 2 lines in 2 books, or even if you didn't, even if it wasn't a book, it would be like a little prize, like go out and buy yourself a box of chocolates or something like that. And that gives me the incentive then to read more, and then I'm kind of making it into a game as well. So that's what I thought I'd do. So I found one on the internet. Just like lots of different things, like read a book with a pink cover, or read a book that's your favorite author, or read a book that begins with the letter A or T or something. So I thought that would be a nice little challenge, and it would kind of get my mind focused on other things, because life could be stressful, and I think it kind of gets me out of the feeling sorry for myself. It's January, it's cold. Like with fibromyalgia, I'm kind of in pain a lot, and to put your mind onto something else really helps me. So that's what I thought I'd do. And then I thought, oh, well, if I'm doing book bingo, I thought I could do myself a groovy bingo. So I've actually kind of like, last night I was writing 5 by 5 boxes, and that would get me crafting a little bit more as well. So doing a little bit more groovy, or stamping, if you're interested in stamping as well. So I did myself like a groovy bingo. So I wrote some things out yesterday. I have it here actually. So I've set myself up a little challenge. So if I show you what I've done, so if I do five cards in a row, I can buy myself a little crafty prize. So that gives me an incentive then I can treat myself to buying a few little groovy bits here and there. So it's just silly things like make a card using your favourite colour, or make a monochrome card, or create a card using a book as a theme. So I've kind of coincided it with my book bingo in a way, because create a card using your favourite film as a theme, or create a card with a city theme. So it gets you to think about also what, about the crafting a little bit. So thinking, oh, I'm going to create this groovy card, and it's just going to be all pink, or all blue, or all green. So it kind of gets you kind of motivated to think, and it makes it into a game. So, and if, for example, if I create all 25, I get to place myself a nice big groovy order. So that's like an incentive for me, because then at the end, when I've created all 25, I can then put myself in a nice little big order at Clarity. So 5, I get like a little prize, so I could buy myself. Well, it depends really. Once I've done 5, I can create the prize that I want. So it's it kind of helps me get my mojo into gear. And but there's all sorts of challenges that you can set yourself to get your mojo working. So this is like my idea to get myself, and then I think after 25 boxes all done, I get to place a nice big groovy order. So but it all helps. It's like, we have the PTC and ATC group, so you can that's another challenge to yourself. Or like Jane said, we have a mid-month challenge. So it's all these different things to help you get your mojo kick-started in January. So I just thought that was a good idea, and I'm going to, you know, keep to that. And so it just kind of just helps me kind of think about and make everything into a game. And I find that just helps me. So it's a bit of fun anyway. It's just a nice little idea. But I just thought as I'm doing that with my books this year, I could do that with my Groovi projects as well, or stamping projects, whatever you do. Or if you do journaling, set yourself a Groovi, not Groovi, like a journal page, and only do one colour or something like that. So it gets you to kind of think a little bit more about the art process as well. You're not just creating just a card, you're creating it with a theme in mind or a colour in mind. So it's a little bit fun, I thought. So yeah, that's me rambling now. So what I thought we'd do is I will show you the card and then we could get cracking. What we're going to be doing today is the line art and the white work still. And I think next week we can focus on the colour then. A little bit of Dorso crayons, a little bit of Perga colours, so a little bit of everything. But yeah, so if I show you the card, this is what we've been doing. So last week we started it and I showed you the plate and everything. So we've still got quite a bit to do. But what we thought we'd do is so far, let me see where we are so far. We've created the box and we've created the letters. What I didn't finish last week is just doing a few more flowers. So I think I do a little flower here and a little flower here. So I thought I'd finish that off. And then I will go into just finding little elements on this plate here, which we were using last week. So just little elements like little scrolls. So I found there's a little scroll there on the J. Or you've got like little twiddly bits on the sweet pea. All sorts of little things that you can find. Or if you wanted to, you could do a little rows of tiny little flowers. So it's really up to you, but that's just how there's a little scroll up there as well. So all sorts of different scrolls. I might just have a play and find different bits. Or you could create little leaves in between. That would look pretty as well. So yeah, lots of ideas. So that's the plate that we're using at the moment. So let's get cracking. So I need that plate back again actually. Let me bring my format there. So we're just going to find the E, which is all the way up here. There we go. And I'm just going to add myself a few more flowers. I'm going to come back in with my tumble dryer sheet just so I can lubricate it a little bit more. There we go. Now, I need a flower. Which flower did we use? Let's use this one. So I'm going to use the number 2. And let me bring this in a little bit more so you can see. There we go. I'm just coming in with my number 2 because this is going to have some white work inside. There we go. I'm going to put another dot there. And we just want to join it up so it doesn't look like it's suspending in midair. There we go. And then I've got a flower going on up here too. Actually, I'm going to use this one, I think. Yeah, put it. Actually, I'm going to use this one. So I'm just going to have it just there. And there we go. Nice little flower. And the little dots inside the flower. There we go. So we've got our little flower up here, and then we put a little flower over there. I might just put a little bit down in this corner, not even, just a little bit extra of some leaves here. There we go. There we go. So you can fill it a little bit more if you want, but I think I'll stop there. So just a few more flowers and then that's all done. Actually, I need this plate again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now I'm going to just come in and do the little, find some little scrolls. I'm just going to put them in here. I'm going to use my number 1 for this, but I'm going to use the number 2 first. There we are. That gives a little bit of interest. So there we go. Just going to go around and find lots of little twiddly bits. There's a little scroll there. I'll put that right in the middle. And then come back in with my number 1. There we go. So just really just a case of finding your little scrolls and just, I mean, you don't have to do little scrolls. You could do whatever you want. You could do a little bit of grid work inside if you wanted to. Okay, so I'm just having some fun. There's a scroll. Just scroll around the other way. Where's that sweet pea? I'm going to use a sweet pea. There we go. Lots of little twiddly bits. Oh, the twiddly bits. That's a good one. Yeah, quite like the sweet pea because it's got lots of nice little scrolls. There we go. So this is take a little bit of time, but it's all right. Just gonna move things around just so I can find the space, and then in between I'm just gonna, I think, just do some freehand little dots and things. Little twiddly bits. I'll do down here. So as normal, I check my phone all the time and do what national day it is today. So apparently it's National Cheese Lovers Day. I know quite a few people that would like this day and would probably celebrate it with some cheese. Yes, I'm just moving this around so I can get some more scrolls. And there we go. with some scrolls. I'm going to just mix it up a little bit and just do a few different kinds of scrolls, not all the same. There you go. Where can I go now? I just do a little one there. I might do little twiddly bits there. Little scrolls. Oh, there's one. That's a good one. I might put that one where it's got a bit more space. Take a good little scroll. Put that one over there too. There we go. My cats make me laugh. I suppose I don't even know if they would be classed as kittens anymore. They're definitely, Luna definitely doesn't look like a kitten. She's a big girl. She's double the size of Shadow. Shadow's still got to be spayed. That's one of the things when you get a little cat from a rescue place, they want, if it's a kitten, for example, they would want you to come back and go to their vets and get the kitten spayed. So Luna's already been done, bless her, but Shadow's still to be done. But she's so tiny compared to Luna. They at Christmas we got a little electronic ball for them, and oh my gosh, Luna and Shadow, they're so funny with this electronic ball. As soon as I come in the door after I finish work, I'll go home, and Luna will literally be waiting at the door for me, and she knows I'm going to go upstairs and get changed, because I always like to get changed into my pajamas when I get in. I like comfort. I'm a comfort girl. And she she has this special meow just for the electronic ball, and it's a cry. But as soon as she gets this electronic ball, she's so funny. She absolutely loves this electronic ball. She either chases it, or when she gets bored of chasing it, she'll just lay down and watch it go from, it just goes here, there and everywhere, all the way across the... But they absolutely love it. It's so funny to watch, because the electronic ball, it has a mind of its own. So it kind of, sometimes it looks like it's chasing them. And then, but as soon as it stops, it is really funny. Cats just make you laugh, or any animal that you have, really. It just makes life so much happier, having a pet. I know for a long time I've wanted some little cats, and they are absolutely completely funny. It's like Luna, she's the guardian of the stairs. So literally, you'll be going up to go to the bathroom, and she'll literally, it's in complete darkness, and all of a sudden you see this shadow of this cat sitting at the top of the stairs. Likes to make sure that the landing is safe. So she'll sit at the top of the stairs and just wait for you to come up in complete darkness. All of a sudden you see this shadow. She is funny. They're both funny. Always give you lots of laughs. They're so comical. Okay, so still working on finding scrolls. I might use those scrolls. There we go. A little scroll there. Put that right in the corner. Where else are we? Can use that scroll. On the hunt for different kinds of scrolls. There's a little one there. That's nice. That's a nice scroll. I'll attach it to that one. And I'll put that one on there. There we go. I'm going to be watching, I think next month, Wuthering Heights comes out in the cinema. I've watched all the different kinds of Wuthering Heights. I've got this one, I think, is with Margot Robbie. So it'd be interesting to see the take of it. But yeah, I quite like the Bronte sisters writing. I watch. I used to love Jane Eyre. Watching Jane Eyre as a child. There's so many different adaptations of Jane Eyre as well. All very good. I grew up watching a lot of period dramas and all sorts of different things like that. There we go. That's for number 6. I might put a little heart in there somewhere as well, just to mix it up. Why not? So put a few little hearts here and there. Seeing as we're writing about love, it'd be like spot the hearts. There we go. There's little 3 hearts together there. That's cute. I'll put that there. So we're getting there. Where else have we got scrolls? There's some there. So we've got a 2 p.m. show later on, which will be fun. So hopefully you can come back at 2 p.m. and watch that. Might put some little dots in as well. Let's put some little dots in. Mix it up. There we go. There we are. Definitely lots of little, I might put a few little leaves in, maybe. Let's put some over here. There we go. Lost the scrolls for a minute. I was just like, where are they all? Twiddly bits. Okay. We've got long now until the pencil colouring course on Saturday. It's gone really, really quick. But I'm looking forward to that. It's an all-day event as well, so we can really get into it. Put a heart there. Okay. Should be good fun. I'm looking forward to that. Lots of tips and tricks and stuff to share. I always like learning something new. Keeps my brain active. But also teaching does as well. I have a lot of respect for teachers when I was a kid now. Because they have it hard, especially working in a secondary school. I'd say that's probably a very, very hard job. And I remember being at school, and there was always a few teachers that the students would give a hard time to. Okay, there's a few little dots there as well up at there. Oh, Lynn, what year is that one? The one with Michael Jaston in? I've probably watched it. I've watched so many. I'm just going to put a few dots in now, I think. Just to... The good thing is there's some nice little dots on the Y. So I'm just going to use those. Oh, Clive, I'm sorry to hear that you're not very well. I get a chance to look up occasionally on the chat. There always seems to be a lot of illness around December, January time, doesn't there? It's the last thing that you really need. There we go. I was getting excited with the dots now, I think. I'm just going to fill up the blank space with some dots. Then we can get onto the white work. There we go. It's good fun just doodling in borders, I think. Always good. I enjoy it. Oh, 1970s one. Oh, I've probably watched that then. I like to watch all the adaptations of Jane Eyre, Little Women. That was one of my favourite when I was younger. I used to watch the one with Elizabeth Taylor in it. I think it's 1930. I always get it confused with The Wizard of Oz. I think it's 1939, but I'm not sure. It could be something completely different. But it's the one with Elizabeth Taylor in anyway. What I really like about that one is the little girl who played Beth in Little Women in the Elizabeth Taylor version. She was also the mum and dad in the Elizabeth Taylor version. It was also the mum and dad in Meet Me in St. Louis. and little Beth in that was little Tootie in Meet Me in St. Louis. And I think that's quite cute that they got to work together again. Okay, so I'm just worked on the outside border, so I'm just going to put some little dots on the inside border. Just mix it up a little bit. Little dots here and there. Where have they gone? There we go. Just adding some dots here and there. Oh, 1949. Yeah, so I'm getting confused with another film. Yeah, so that makes sense. 1949 sounds better than 1939. I think that was another film that I watched recently that was 1939. But yeah, so the Elizabeth Taylor version, 1949. But that was a good version of Little Women. Although I do like the 1990s version with Winona Ryder. That's a good one. Just put a few dots. You can get quite a few in that one. There we go. So that's my little doodles in the background. So that part's done. That's good. So now I'm going to bring in my number 3 and my number 4 Groovi tool. And we're just I'm going to move my black mat onto the soft side. And I'm just going to, so the white work I have put in the Edelweiss, in the leaves and the flowers. So I'm just going to do that one first. So just slowly going over the leaves and just, I'm being very, very, very light. I think white work looks so really lovely with colour, against colour as well, when we put the colour in. Maybe I should move a little bit closer. There we are. See it a bit better now. Okay, so nice and easy now. Now if you've got a nice cup of tea and it hasn't gone cold yet, has it gone cold? Sort of. I'm terrible for letting my tea go cold. I mean, I think that is just a thing that happens when you're crafting. You make yourself a cup of tea, you think, oh, I'll drink that in a minute. And when you go to drink it, it's freezing cold and you've lost an hour and a half because you've been so focused on your parchment. Although I must admit, it's not the worst thing that's happened. It's like when I've done my watercolouring, I've gone to stick my paintbrush in my teacup. So I've done that before. I've spilt a whole pot of sticky ink before, years ago. Took a while to clean up. Luckily it was only half full, but still, not what you really want to do. I mean, there must be so many crafting mishaps over the years that I've done. I think I was tired once and I put a die through the die cutting machine the wrong way up, so my paper didn't get cut, it just went into the cutting mat. When you just don't notice. You think, oh, why is this die cutter not working then? Because it's the wrong way around. Okay, so I've done my little leaves. So now I'm going to use number 4. I'm just going to go in from the outside of the petal and just flick in. So the white is going to be on the outside. It's going to be whiter than the inside. Cup warmer could be a good idea. I got this cup from Greg's just before Christmas. It was because of the new Wicked film that came out. And that keeps things hot for hours. But if I make my tea before Groovi Tuesday, I won't be able to drink it in that hour because it will still be boiling hot. Crafting conundrums, eh? Just working from the outside petal and just flicking in a little bit. It's my Groove God. That would help. There we go. Edelweiss is such a pretty little flower. Always reminds me of Sound of Music. Edelweiss. That was one of my favourite films growing up as well, Sound of Music. We had in primary school we had music lessons, and we used to have to do singing sometimes. And I remember we had like a book, Sound of Music, and the lady would play the piano, and we would have to sing all of the songs from Sound of Music. There we go. And just working on my Edelweiss. Oh, were they? Oh. Oh, Barbara and Paul were singing Edelweiss yesterday, were they? I didn't hear that. This takes me back to primary school, that does. I used to... It's funny because when I was in primary school, before the age of 9, I was quite an outgoing child. Used to do ballet and tap when I was younger, and also we went to drama classes. So I was in at the Hall Centre in Crawley. We had the drama class, and every year we would do a production like at the Hall Centre in Crawley. Or I think we did one in East Grinstead. I can't remember which one it was, but one of the years we did Oliver Twist. And I was one of the children from the workhouse, and then I had to come back, and then I was one of the children from Fagin's gang. So we used to, that was fun, being around children, and it was a really, really nice time actually, being part of that. And then the following year we did Bugsy Malone. I didn't enjoy it as much as Oliver Twist, mainly because they gave me loads of roles. I think I played about 5 or 6 different parts, and I just remember having to run around for 2 hours, changing and getting into my next gear for the next little role. I think I was, at one point I was playing the violin. I wasn't actually playing the violin, but I had a violin in my hand pretending to play. The next I was in one of the, the speakeasy scene at the beginning. Then I was a boxer. Then I was, I don't know if you know Bugsy Malone, but then I was at this part where they're all in this room and he's trying to get them to join his gang to overtake the bad guys. I can't remember who the bad guys were, but yeah, it was good fun. But I just remember always running around during those 2 hours doing Bugsy Malone. So that's my Edelweiss done. So I'm just going to do these little hearts next, I think. I'm going to put them in white work. I'm going to use with the number 3, I think, because they're quite small. I'm kind of just doing a little V motion inside the heart. But yeah, but Oliver Twist was one of my favourites. I think because I acted in it and we did a drama school, and I absolutely loved every moment of it. It was just so much fun. So I'd say it's probably my favourite musical. I could watch that any time really. The one with Oliver Reed in it, the actual musical Oliver Twist. Although there's different adaptations of Oliver Twist as well. Yeah, so this is good. Okay, so just carrying doing my little hearts. But yeah, I was so confident when I was in primary school, and then I think I got to about 10 or 11, went to a secondary school, and I became really shy. To the point of, when you had to do the little exams where you have to stand up and talk to people, I'd have anxiety about it. I didn't want to get up and talk in front of people. That was like one of my fears. Not so bad now. Especially in the last year, I think I've really kind of like improved. But it does take time. Right, I've done my V, my little hearts. Now I'm heading on to the L. I don't think I did any white work in the O because there's a little bit of just mostly colour really. Although to kind of blend it, I might do a little bit of white work on the tips of the leaves actually. Just otherwise it's going to look like all 3 of these have got white work and then there's just this one on its own, feeling sorry for itself because it's not in the white work gang. Needs some white work. It's feeling left out. I think as you get older as well, like I think you don't care so much about what people think of you. I remember at school always caring too much. And I think if I went back and could talk to my younger self, I'd say, not that I'd probably listen at that age, but I'd say it's not as bad as what you think. But everything always seems so hard when you're that age, being a teenager. Then you get to be an adult. Then you think, what was I worrying about? So I'm just doing my little, this is the L now. Where are we? There we are. So just working around this bit. There you go. Just continue doing the little leaves. I think it looks quite nice with them. A little bit of white work. It makes them stand out more, doesn't it? That's okay, Diana. It's lovely to have you here now. I know, as teenagers, you always had the ones that would be making so much noise in the class and not listen. Then you had you could tell the introverts and the extroverts at school. You have the ones that are like beavering down doing their work, and then the ones that aren't. Somebody said to me the other day, would you ever want to go back to being a certain age? You know, back to being a teenager or something. I was like, nope. Definitely not. My worst nightmare, being a teenager again. Maybe a child and then skip secondary school altogether. But yeah, I'm not that into being a teenager. And so the good thing about this is that it's what was this? Is this Lily of the Valley? L, yeah. But you could also do it as bluebells if you wanted to add a little bit of colour. But I'm going to do white work. So they're going to be white. Right, so I'm just might do another layer. I'm just doing this very lightly. So did anybody actually set any New Year's resolutions? And I was listening to somebody earlier and they said like January is such a somber time because everybody's got New Year's resolutions, you know, like going to the gym or something. Nobody has any money because they've spent it all for Christmas, and then there's such a long period between Christmas and the end of January. Like for example, maybe having a birthday in January or something, because nobody has any money to come out and have dinner with you or something. I always find January is like a time where you kind of just hibernate indoors and do things that you love to make yourself happy, which is why I've set myself up that little book bingo and Groovi bingo to kind of set myself a challenge and just have fun. Find a way to enjoy January. go. I'm just slightly going over the little. Nearly done. I always find that New Year's resolutions are sometimes hard to stick by. I think it's because they are in the coldest months, when, you know, a lot of the, I think, was it this Monday or last Monday, is something called Blue Monday, where most people give up on their New Year's resolutions. But there's always something good to come out of something that you may not think so good. There we go. So I've done the white work. So the hearts and the Edelweiss don't need any more work. I will do a little bit more on the snowdrops because like they're a little bit grey still, but I will let that rest. Yeah, I thought it was Monday just gone. It's called Blue Monday, isn't it? Where most people give up on their resolutions. That's a good one. My resolution is to not make any resolutions. I just don't find that January is a good time to make resolutions. I always think spring's the best time because I always feel so much better in March. The sun comes out, it's getting warmer, promise of spring, you feel a bit more energized. So that's the perfect time to really set yourself a resolution if you are going to. There we go. So I've done our little scrolls in there. I've put some little dots that were on the alphabet plate. Done our white work. I think as homework, at some point I'll just do another layer of the little snowdrops, Lily Valley rather. I don't know. I think because they're white, I just think, oh, snowdrops. And then next week we will focus on the colour. I think there are a little bit of Dorso crayons behind, so you may need your Dorso crayons and your Dorso oil, blending pen, a little bit, maybe a tissue, eraser pencil, pair of colours, or any kind of colouring that you want to. You could use your polychromos, and then we're almost there. Then we've just got the tool work we can do on the week after that, and then we can focus on the little finishing touches. I just use a little quickie glue pen for this, but what you could do is you could use an old Groovi tool, and you could get your sticky ink and you could just do little dip dots so they're all the same size around and measure them out. But I just had a little play and just got the quickie glue pen and went down there. But you could do it a little bit more uniform, you know, and use your Groovi tools with the sticky ink for little dip dots, and then we're going to use our little foil, which is the gold one I used. So that's what we're planning on doing. So I'm glad I got what I wanted to get done today. I thought, oh, am I going to get that all done? Because the scrolls, it's quicker if you do, I always find it's quicker if you do scrolls freehand, but this way they're the same, you know. That's the reason why the Groovi system works, is because they're all the same depth, so they're not going to be, you know, different, and you're not going to go through by accident. So it does make sense to do that all the way down. So let me turn it onto the hard side. So it was lovely to have your company today. Thank you, Jane, for keeping everybody company and for putting through some of the information. I'm glad I managed to keep it in the hour this time. I know we ran over last week because I was so engrossed in what I was doing. Probably talking too much. But it was lovely to have your company. So at 2 p.m, Paul and myself, we're going to be back with a few bits and pieces to show you. I think we're going to go over the starter kit, take things back to basics and everything for anybody that's new, so that And there'll be a few tips and tricks along the way, and have a look at some artwork and just have some crafty time together. And then what have we got on Friday? We've got Deborah and Paul at 10 and 2 on Friday. And then Saturday is the online workshop for our enhanced pencil work, which is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Okay, so I'll see you at 2 p.m. if you can. Thank you everybody for your company. Hope everybody has a lovely day. Thank you, Jane, again, and I'll see you at 2 p.m. Take care, everyone. Bye.